Racing is primarily done on the track in F1, but in recent years we've been seeing a race of securing a calendar spot as well. And Spa is expected to get another round and continue on the calendar in 2024, after ambitions for a South African Grand Prix were blocked yet again. In recent years, there has been much speculation about a return to Kyalami for the first time since 1993, with Liberty Media CEO Greg Maffei prematurely proclaiming a race on the African continent for the current season. However, initial discussions between F1 and then promoter Warren Schechter fell down over the financial specifics of the arrangement. A new promoter, 777, a sports investment organization located in Miami, best known for its football projects, managed by Adam Brown, who also organizes the Kyalami 9-hour event, had renewed optimism for bringing South Africa to the schedule. The event's ambitions were helped by 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton's support and desire for F1 to return to Africa. However, a decision has been reached to shelve preparations for a South African Grand Prix in the near future, owing to political considerations. As the South African Grand Prix's destiny has finally been established by a representative for the Kyalami track. He confirmed that the Formula One circus will not visit the 4.5-kilometer track next year. We are aware that a 2024 Grand Prix at Kyalami is not going ahead, but we cannot offer insights as to the reason for this decision. According to insiders, the decision was made due to South Africa's tight relationship with Russia. F1 declined to comment on the speculations, but the decision will almost certainly give Spa-Francorchamps a reprieve and keep the Belgian Grand Prix on the schedule for at least another year. South Africa's tight political ties with Russia is the source of the problem for F1's hierarchy. Following the invasion and ensuing continuing conflict against Ukraine last year, F1 was obliged to cancel the Russian Grand Prix, and the FIA imposed a blanket ban on Russian and Belarusian participants unless they signed a neutrality agreement. Even though arrangements between 777 and F1 were nearly finished, South Africa's government and affiliation with President Putin's administration proved to be an unforeseen hurdle. It is believed that a site hiring agreement had been reached pending a formal signature, which was never obtained, with Kyalami renting out its facilities to 777, who would then advertise the event. But South Africa, a member of the BRICS group of growing economies with Russia, Brazil, China and India, has remained neutral on Russia and the conflict. However, tensions have grown in the last year, with the US accusing South Africa of selling armaments to Russia and the Kremlin's war operations. As a result, a South African GP has been judged unviable in the foreseeable future, indicating a reprieve for Spa. The governing body has not publicly commented on its 2024 calendar intentions, but time looks to have run out for the would-be South African race promoter to secure a long-term arrangement with F1 beginning in 2024. It implies that the idea must be reparked. However, conversations might resume in 2025 if conditions allow for a long-term arrangement, as F1 is known to be leery about restarting this event, only to see it perish shortly after. One of the drawbacks with the prior promoter was that it could only provide short-term financial stability. The chance that Kyalami will not take place also means that Spa will remain on the schedule, which will be good news for fans of one of F1's oldest and most beloved tracks. Despite its flaws, most of which are logistical in nature due to the circuit's location in the Ardennes, Spa remains immensely popular among spectators and drivers. Circuit executives have also endeared themselves to F1 by authorizing major capital expenditure investment in recent years. This has pushed Spa ahead of other potential European sites like Paul Ricard and Hockenheim for a spot on a schedule that is more crowded than ever. If Kyalami joins the schedule, Spa will almost certainly drop out and have to arrange a rotation with another European race. This might be its fate in the long run, with Zandvoort being one choice to alternate with due to the proximity of the courses, which some feel can target the same fanbase. Another problem is the lack of calendar space for the next several years is China's approaching comeback. The Shanghai race has not taken place since 2019 due to the COVID-19 epidemic, but it still has a contract for at least 2 more years. It is projected to be on the schedule in 2024, as long as the condition of the circuit facilities has been ensured after a lengthy period of inactivity, which is thought to be the case, and there are no lingering COVID-19 difficulties. Even though F1 has long desired a race in Africa to emphasize its stature as a world championship, it will have to wait. The return to the legendary Kyalami track, which last held a Grand Prix in 1993, has long been the favourite, not just for the fans, but also for the organisation itself. Over the last year, F1 CEO and President Stefano Domenicali has spoken with the circuit authorities and other South African GP stakeholders in an attempt to resurrect the event. Domenicali stated in 2022 that he would like to add Africa to the calendar. There are areas of the world that want to have Formula One, and I think that one area that we want to develop is the African area. We are a world championship, and that's an area where we're not there. Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time F1 world champion, is the most vocal supporter of a return to Kyalami. At the Miami GP this year, he said, "I like the direction personally that F1 is going in. I've been here, like many people, here a long time. I like the change that we're seeing, and it's exciting coming to different parts of the world and different circuits. We're on all the other continents, so I'm hoping we get to go to Africa soon, and that will be an amazing experience for the whole circus, to experience the culture there. So we can be certain that we won't see a race in South Africa this or next year, and Spa will stay for the time being. But what about other tracks? Are there other contenders on the list for F1? Well, a new Formula One track on an old airfield in the US state of New Jersey has been granted the go-ahead for its build. It includes the almost 140-acre Banner Field. The total number of races in America this year has already risen to 3, as a Grand Prix will also be staged in Las Vegas, beginning this year. However, the Americans are not done yet. According to NJ.com, a plan for another F1 circuit in America has been authorized. This all has to do with F1's popularity rising and rising in the US. The Atlantic City Airport, also known as Banner Field, has received approval for a $2.7 billion development project. Not only will a new circuit be developed, but stores and apartments will also be erected near the airport, which closed in 2006. A $2.7 billion development proposal to transform a former Atlantic City airport into a Formula One racetrack with condominiums and retail businesses was given a green light Wednesday night by the City Council. Construction would take place over 6 to 9 years. Could you see this happening? We aren't so sure. 6 to 9 years is a long time. They would have to secure a spot on the calendar long before finishing the build, otherwise the money could be wasted. It'll be interesting to see if it will happen though. Let us know your thoughts on the F1 track situation in the comments below. Which tracks would you like to see, and which ones are not needed anymore? In other news, the 2023 Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, which was cancelled earlier this year, will not be rescheduled. The event in Imola was cancelled during the build-up after strong storms in the region left people trapped and claimed the lives of 17 locals. F1 and the FIA cancelled the event for that weekend, in agreement with the Italian government, deciding that emergency services would be better used elsewhere, raising concerns about whether it will return to the calendar later in the year. The congested structure of the 2023 calendar made that appear impossible, and now the sports organisers have opted against rescheduling it for later this year, resulting in a 22-race season for the current season. The announcement comes after the Formula 2 and Formula 3 feeder series chose to cut the race from their itineraries, reducing them to 13 and 9 events respectively. FIA Formula 2 and FIA Formula 3 CEO Bruno Michel said, "First, I'm very sorry that we could not race to Imola this year, but obviously this was the right decision, and our thoughts are with those who have been affected. Since then, we have looked at several options, but ultimately, we decided that we will not add a new venue to this year's calendars. With a total of 13 F2 rounds and 9 F3 events, I believe we still have enough races to deliver 2 amazing and competitive seasons." Formula One stated at the time of the postponement that the decision was made because they could not ensure the safety of the fans, teams and F1 officials. Stefano Domenicali, president and CEO of Formula One, said, "It is such a tragedy to see what has happened to Imola and Emilia-Romagna, the town and region that I grew up in, and my thoughts and prayers are with the victims of the flooding and the families and communities affected. I want to express my gratitude and admiration for the incredible emergency services who are working tirelessly to help those who need help and alleviate the situation. They are heroes and the whole of Italy is proud of them. The decision that has been taken is the right one for everyone in the local communities and the F1 family, as we need to ensure safety and not create extra burden for the authorities while they deal with this very awful situation. Not driving in Imola this year gives the region the time to recover from such a tragic storm. This seems like the obvious choice, with F1 being able to lengthen the track's contract with another year. So Imola will be here to stay for the coming years. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.